Alright, hello everyone. The day has come and we are finally going to complete Phase 8 of the Team Initiation Challenge and complete the main storyline of Pokopia. So let's hop right to it. Anyway, what's really important is the next mission because it's the last one, Part 8 of the Team Initiation Challenge. Go get 'em. Take a photo. You just need to take one photo and bring it here, but not just any photo. Imagine you had to leave all your friends and move somewhere really far away. Take the kind of photo you'd want to bring with you when you go. This is your final mission. Well, that's cute. What should I take as my final photo? Mimikyu. Let's get Mimikyu. No! What, are you going to work again? No. Come here. Let's go complete this challenge. See what's gonna happen. I think this is a good one. Okay. This will send the data for the photo you've selected. Yes. Alright, here we go. You're satisfied with your photo, right? In that case, you finally finished the entire Team Initiation Challenge. Congrats! Here's your final reward. Woo, I got all the badges! Alright, with that, you're now truly one of us. This calls for a celebration, a welcome party. We'll provide the food and decorations. Sorry to ask this, but could you prepare some party poppers? Wondering why the party poppers are your job? Come on, don't sweat the small stuff. It wouldn't really feel like a party without them, now would it? This is your first job as a new member of our organization. Good thing I still have the ones from the beginning of the game. I did go on a little side quest and try to find all the hacker's diary entries and the professor diary entries because I thought that reading those before completing the main story would be a good idea to kind of see the background of like what exactly happened. I ended up finding them and I'm gonna read them all now. So let's do the hacker's confessions. Confession 1. I doubt anyone will ever read this, but the memories of my experiences are too much to bear alone, so I've decided to confide in this diary. I'm a nameless hacker. I infiltrate the networks of huge corporations, steal their secrets, and sell them to their rivals. I already have more than enough money. But it's fun peering behind the scenes, so it's almost like a hobby to me. I donate all the money I don't use to things like Pokemon conservation groups. Ever since I was a kid, I've liked computers and Pokemon more than people. Relatable. Just kidding. It happened when I was hacking into a server in another region for fun and stumbled on a system with excessively high security. Finding these sorts of things is always a thrill. It took a lot of effort, but once I breached it, all I could find was what seemed like trivial data about weather patterns. It was anticlimactic, but it made me think, why would someone put so much effort into hiding something like this? That nagged at me. So I dove back in. It took a lot of work, but I learned how to make sense of the weather data. I was able to gather that a natural disaster had struck that region. Dozens of huge, repeated hurricanes. That's the only conclusion I could draw, but I'd never heard news about a disaster like that. If a disaster of that scale had really happened, surely it would have received both local and global attention. With that thought, I remembered a foundation active in that region. They were known for their passion for Pokemon conservation efforts. I had even donated to them. I thought that an organization of that scale might be able to influence media so that no news of that disaster leaked outside the region. I spent countless days infiltrating the Foundation servers, looking into any data I could lay my hands on, and sure enough, it gradually became clear that they were involved. I finally fell asleep after repeated all-nighters. When I woke up, I was surrounded by members of the Foundation. Yikes. Apparently, I'd left traces when I hacked the servers. That was enough for them to track me down. The people from the Foundation were surprisingly polite, and they explained what was happening in detail. I have no intention of writing it all here. The important thing is that someday this disaster will spread throughout the entire world. They said that humanity in its current state can't prevent it. The Foundation, together with other regions, had formed a plan to evacuate all of humanity into space. The plan was already in motion. My head was spinning at the outrageous tale. So what would become of Pokemon? When I put the question to them, they described their Pokemon conservation project and asked for my help. While humanity is evacuated into space, all of the Pokemon in the world are to be stored and protected in a massive computer system. That is the Pokemon Conservation Project. An incredible plan, but the Foundation members said that in order to avoid panic, they had to keep both the disaster and the project out of the public eye as much as possible. Naturally, this left them short-handed. Skilled computer technicians were in particularly high demand. That's why the Foundation sought me out after I discovered the disaster. Recruitment. I took them up on their offer. Until this point, I had always lived as I pleased, but if I could save Pokemon using my skills, I had to do it. The work was tough, but also rewarding. Eventually, the public began to take notice of the disaster. The Foundation gradually evacuated those who noticed to a safe place, but to avoid panic, they waited until the last minute to tell people that their destination was space. That'd be crazy. In the middle of this unbelievable situation, I found a flaw in the plan. In order to escape the disaster, humanity would temporarily take refuge in space while Pokemon would be safely stored in a computer system. This was the general overview of the plan. But no computer system will keep running forever. The Foundation planned to send a select few members back to the planet at regular intervals to perform ongoing maintenance. But for humanity to survive in space for any length of time, it would take a tremendous amount of energy. I calculated that even a slight deviation from the original plan would result in insufficient energy to return, leaving humankind stranded in space for dozens or even hundreds of years. If that happened, the essential system protecting the Pokemon would eventually cease to function. So I decided to add a little touch of my own to the system's programming. First, it will continuously check the weather data across the globe in search of environments that can prove even slightly habitable to Pokemon. Next, if maintenance is not performed for a long period of time and the system begins to approach its limits, it will release the Pokemon most suited to those environments. Of course, ideally humans will return someday and live alongside Pokemon once more, but on the off chance humanity never returns from space, I think releasing the Pokemon into a wild world rather than leaving them asleep in a computer would be a happier outcome. I agree. It may sound strange coming from the program's creator, but I hope it never has to run. But that seems to be what's happening now, so it doesn't seem like the humans will be returning. Aw. Okay, now I want to read the professor's diaries. My field survey on Cinnabar proved quite fruitful. I spoke with Pokemon professors from other regions and gained a number of insights from my own research. Many folks were very concerned about possible effects the recent weather disturbances may be having on Pokemon. On my way home, I found a Tangela. He appeared injured in a week, so I used a potion to heal him. He seemed to take a liking to me and toddled along behind me. I wasn't sure what to do at first. I ended up bringing him home with me, figuring he might be a good playmate for my grandchild. My grandchild plays with Tangela a lot these days. They both seem to be having so much fun. Just watching them warms my heart. Tangela shows interest in any and all human activities. When I'm working on the computer, he stares intently at my screen with a curious expression. Trainers who come to visit me also play with Tangela, and Tangela seems intrigued by the items they use. He looks enthralled by things like Pokedexes and Pokeballs. Are all Tangela brimming with curiosity, or is this little one just special? Pokemon really are fascinating. There's always more to learn about them. Today there was a gathering attended by Pokemon professors from every region. We had a surprising announcement in store. Increasingly intense weather abnormalities and the calamities striking each region as a result show no sign of slowing down. At this rate, predictions suggest that we will no longer be able to obtain enough food and energy to continue living on this planet. And we learned that a plan was secretly in motion to evacuate all of humanity into space. It also seemed that with a few exceptions, it will not be possible to bring Pokemon with us. Of course, some immediately raised their voices in protest, which is when we heard about the Pokemon Conservation Project. I wonder what the few exceptions were. It was decided that we will take part in the Pokemon Conservation Project. It's a plan to safely store all Pokemon on the planet in a massive computer system while humanity takes refuge in space. I can't be sure that such a thing is even possible, and being parted from our Pokemon will be terribly painful, but this may be the only way that people and Pokemon will be able to live together again someday. I was also asked to join a survey team after we moved to space, but I held off on responding. After humanity relocates, a small group will be sent back to the planet to survey the environment and do maintenance on the conservation system. But given my age, I don't know if I'll still be spry enough to be of much help. I think it's a task best left to the young. Something shocking has happened. The Pokemon Conservation Project is progressing smoothly, and the time came for my Tangela to join the others. In the hopes of avoiding a tearful scene, I waited until my grandchild was asleep before entrusting Tangela to one of the other project members. But later that night, I received word that Tangela had run off. Tangela was like family. He would have been accustomed to humans. How could this have happened? I have a theory. Tangela was likely trying to get back to our home. But it's nearly time for my family to set off for space. Even if Tangela were to make it safely home, by the time he arrives, we'll no longer be there. I feel agonizingly helpless knowing there's nothing I can do. Nothing, that is, but hope that the project staff find Tangela and keep him safe. That's why he was like all by himself for so long. Oh, that's so sad. The day of departure finally arrived and Tangela was still nowhere to be found, so I decided to join the survey team after all. It will give me the opportunity to return to the planet periodically and I can search when I'm there. If there are any strange machines or rare tools on the ship, I should borrow them. Then I'll find Tangela and show them to him. I'm certain he'll examine them with his usual curiosity. Until then, please be safe. I don't think the professor's making it back. See, this game is like so cute, but like the overarching story is so sad. Oh man. Alright, on that note. The delivery hatch is completely full. You weren't able to deliver the party poppers. Huh? Hello, Sierra. I just couldn't get this building off my mind, so I came to investigate a bit more. So how goes it? Did you learn anything about the building? The party poppers won't fit? Ah, Sierra. Party poppers are no good if you just shut them away. Let me show you how to use them. Here, watch this. First, you grab this string tight to get ready. Come on, you do it too. No, just like that. Alright, now let's pull the strings. Ready, set. Woohoo! Oh. Emergency! Emergency! Oh no. We may be under attack. What? What's happening? Did I do something wrong? There, hush now. Initiating emergency evacuation protocol. 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh! Blast off! So it was a rocket. Oh no! Aren't we supposed to be on that? Dang. Oh. Oh, is that Moslax? Look at Dragonite. Sleeping. The whole big building just flew away. I don't suppose that did something I shouldn't have? You know, this is just one more surprise. I witnessed wonder after wonder since I first met you. You've made houses just like the humans did and brightened up a whole town with electricity. You held a party for everyone and started up a huge machine. Thanks to you, we Pokemon have gotten pretty skilled at acting more like humans. But to think a building as big as that could fly up that high into the sky, humans really can do incredible things. Do you suppose there's any chance that humans are seeing that building out there somewhere? Hmm. Roll credits. Dang, this is kind of emotional. This is such a cute story. I'm excited to keep building for the Pokemon, and if there's like expansions like DLC that come on later, it's pretty cool. What happens? Oh. Oh. Do they just live in these tiny little capsules? They all have their own? So small. Oh. Hmm. Oh, they get all the stuff that we put in there. So are we thinking that like that was my trainer? Like Ditto's trainer? Or just someone, and then they saw the picture and everything, so now they're like, there's life on Earth or something. And they're like, if it's Ditto's trainer, they're like, wait, that's my Ditto, because they probably recognize it since you like cloned yourself to look like your trainer. So they'd be like, wait, that's me. That's kind of cool. But it's like probably better off that the humans just stay away, let's be honest. The Pokemon are doing just fine. Could you imagine if you just like got that picture, like you're in space with all humans and you think your Pokemon are just like stuck in this box and then you get that photo? That'd be crazy. Oh. Assuming someone actually does complete my mission for me by getting food and furniture and all that stockpiled up, what should I do if they actually want to join our organization? I don't know if any super serious do-gooders would want to join Team R, but if they do ask to join, I guess we could let them. Might not be so bad. Okay, so it was Team Rocket. I bet everybody'd be real surprised if they found out Team R built a rocket to evacuate into outer space all by ourselves. We even have more than enough fuel to make it back to the planet easily after the environment's calmed down a bit. The boss's plan is absolutely perfect. The boss says that the scale of the plan to get all humans into outer space at once is just too large. He said that if anything goes seriously wrong, the others might not have enough fuel to get back. Maybe if we could share some of our extra fuel with them if that happens, then maybe people think, oh, Team R is actually so nice, and we'd get more people wanting to join up. Either way, I bet we can make a bunch of money from it all when the time comes. Oh, they're so nice, but then, oh, I bet we can make a bunch of money. So I'm assuming they had to evacuate with everyone else because they didn't complete that in time. Astonishing. Humans really could do the most incredible things. They didn't just build a big building like that. They even made it fly up into the sky. Our biggest hint may have blasted off and flown away, but as I watched it go, I couldn't help but think, somewhere, somehow, humans will see that building. I'm sure of it, and then they'll come back here. I truly believe that. So until that day arrives, let's work together with the other Pokemon here to make it an even nicer place to live. So those humans will be gobsmacked to see what they're coming home to. Let's keep it up. That was cute. Memories photo frame. Oh, it's time. The open sky, the fresh air, the Pokemon. It has been a time since I saw them all. Hello, hello, will you be a friend of mine? Let us talk together. So was it just stuck under here this whole time? There was a big building above here, why is it gone? It flew to the sky? It's difficult to believe. Incredible. Those humans were making a thing of amazement. I now understand. There were many humans. They looked sketchy. They did things around the building. One day, they disappeared. I went inside to investigate, but I was unable to exit. I could not exit. I had no things to do, so I slept. How long did I sleep? I do not know. When I woke, I was here. When the building flew, maybe I fell out. The building was a comfortable space for sleeping. It would have been a good home. This is unfortunate. Oh. This was their base. I could build you a new one. You can make a home that is like the building? Is it a possibility? If so, I would like that a large amount. Something like this. Please make it. Streetlight, metal drum, control unit, jumbled cord. I count on you. Tell 'em. Did it. You made my home. Thank you. Wish to repay you. What can I do? I have an idea. Do you have an interest in magnet rise? Yes. I'll let you flit around. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Okay, unlocked my full potential now. Oh wow. Oh, this is a game changer for sure. We did it, we rolled the credits. That was a lot of fun. Very touching, very cute. But that's not it for the Pokopia series. I'm going to continue making videos and have them come out on Thursdays. So make sure you're subscribed if you aren't already so you don't miss those. And let me know in the comments if there's anything you want to see me do in Pokopia. Any ideas you have, let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!